I simulated a 5-year contract for Kylian Mbappé at Real Madrid in FC24. Let's see what Mbappé can achieve with the Real Madrid team. In their first game, they won against Bilbao when Mbappé scored once, followed by a brace in the second game. As the season progressed, after 10 games in La Liga, Real Madrid won against Getafe, Girona, Las Palmas, Osasuna, and Sevilla, drew with Celta and Real Sociedad, and lost to Atletico Madrid. They are currently third, on par with the top two leaders in points, while Mbappé was the top goal scorer in those matches. Real Madrid increased their performance, and after 22 weeks, they were leading with 52 points. Vinicius was the leader in assists, having played 20 games. Meanwhile, in the Supercopa in the semifinals, after beating Atletico Madrid 2-1, they advanced to the final where they defeated Barcelona, winning the cup. After 32 games in La Liga, Real Madrid were 1 point ahead. However, Mbappé was 5 goals behind Levy. In the end, Barcelona managed to equal Real Madrid's points, but Real Madrid won the title based on head-to-head results. And Mbappé finished with only 1 goal less than Levy in La Liga. Let's see if Mbappé can win the Champions League in his first year with Real Madrid. After they passed the group stages in the round of 16, Real Madrid faced Manchester City and beat them with an aggregate score of 3-2. Advancing to the quarterfinals, there they faced Napoli and defeated them with the same result in 2 clashes, resulting in an aggregate score of 4-2. In the semifinals, they faced Inter and beat them 7-4 after 2 matches, bringing Mbappé closer to his first title. In the final, they faced Bayern Munich, but lost to them, with Harry Kane winning a title for the first time, leaving Mbappé still waiting. In Copa del Rey, they lost to Celta in the round of 16. Overall, in his first season at Real Madrid, Mbappé scored 28 goals in La Liga, 10 goals in the Champions League, 2 goals in the Copa del Rey, and 1 goal in the Supercopa. Let's see what unfolds in Mbappé's second season. In this season, they won the first 3 games against Bilbao, Almeria, and Celta, but drew against Getafe, leaving them in 3rd place on the table with the same points as Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Carleto had offers from national teams, but remained loyal to Real Madrid. As the La Liga progressed, Real Madrid kept winning with only 1 draw against their lifetime rivals. Until now, Mbappé wasn't in the list of top goal scorers, but Bellingham was there with 7 goals. Meanwhile, after 12 games, Thibaut Courtois had 5 clean sheets. After the Champions League has started, let's keep an eye there. In the group stages, they won against Braga in 2 matches, had 1 win and 1 draw with Union Berlin, and again had 1 win and 1 draw with Napoli, finishing at the top of the table with 14 points. While Vinicius Jr. was 3rd in the list of goal scorers. In their La Liga journey, they kept winning, and after 30 matches, they were leading the table 3 points ahead of Atletico Madrid, while Mbappé had the same number of goals as Levy and Griezmann. The fight for the Pichichi continued, but in week 34, Mbappé was at the top. However, with 2 draws towards the end of La Liga, they won La Liga with only 1 point ahead of Atletico Madrid, but Mbappé shared the Pichichi trophy with Griezmann. In the Copa del Rey, they won against Elche, progressed to the round of 16 by defeating Athletic Bilbao, but were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Valladolid. They also lost 2-0 from Atletico Madrid in the Supercopa. Back to the Champions League, they beat Galatasaray 4-3 on aggregate, progressed to the quarterfinals, where they defeated Barcelona over 2 legs. In the semifinals, they lost the first leg to Bayern, but achieved a remontada to reach the final, where Guardiola's team faced Ancelotti's. When Madrid won, Mbappé lifted the Champions League trophy for the first time. Overall, he scored 26 goals in La Liga and 5 goals in the Champions League. How will Mbappé's 3rd season evolve? In their first 4 games, they won 3 matches against Getafe, Almeria, and Athletic Bilbao, and drew 1 against Celta, where Mbappé had 1 goal fewer than Griezmann, placing them in 2nd place. In the first derby against Atletico, they won 3-1, with 2 goals from Valverde and 1 from Vinicius. After 7 games, Real Madrid was leading the table, followed by Atletico. In the upcoming games against Girona, Osasuna, and Sevilla, they won. Continuing to the Clásico against Barcelona, they secured victory with Valverde, scoring the only goal. After 14 matches in La Liga, Real Madrid was at the top of the table, and both Mbappé and Griezmann had scored 10 goals each. However, Mbappé won the Player of the Month award. A month later, he won the Ballon d'Or for the first time. In the Champions League, they advanced past the group stage. Continuing to the round of 16, they lost both games against Manchester City with an aggregate score of 5-1. Let's return to La Liga, where after 18 matches, Camavinga had 6 assists, and Mbappé had 12 goals. And after 20 games, Mbappé had scored 13 goals, while Real Madrid extended their lead over the second-place team. Meanwhile, in the Copa del Rey in the round of 16, they faced Atletico Madrid and won 1-0 with a goal from Rodrigo. Advancing to the quarterfinals, they faced and defeat Athletic Bilbao. In the semifinals, they beat Real Sociedad with 1 win and 1 draw, achieving an aggregate score of 2-1, which set up a final against Villarreal, where Real Madrid won the Copa del Rey. They also won the Supercopa, beating Atletico Madrid in the semifinals and Barcelona in the final. Madrid won La Liga with 98 points, with Mbappé finishing as the top scorer after 37 matches. Overall, in his third season, Mbappé scored 1 goal in the Supercopa, 3 goals in the Copa del Rey, 5 goals in the Champions League, and 25 goals in La Liga, totaling 34 goals. Mbappé's 4th season, a year of highs and lows. In his first 5 La Liga games, the team was in 8th place in the table, with 9 points, having won 2 games against Almeria and Getafe, and drawn 3 against Bilbao, Celta, and Real Sociedad. Meanwhile, Alaba was unhappy with his playing time. In the first La Liga derby against Atletico Madrid, they won and then continued their winning streak with victories against Las Palmas and Girona. The manager of the month was announced Ancelotti. In their journey after 14 matches, Mbappé was involved in 13 goals. Meanwhile, Madrid's selection delights Camavinga. In December, Mbappé was named Player of the Month. By then, he had scored 13 goals in 17 matches. Antonio Rudiger was happy, but Rodrigo was questioning his future. With their good form in January, Madrid was at the top of the table, 6 points ahead of Bilbao. Mbappé now had 17 goals, while Valverde was shortlisted for Player of the Month. They were waiting for the derby against Atletico Madrid, which they won, and Vinicius Jr. was happy with Real Madrid. They ended the La Liga season in first place with 93 points, and Mbappé was the top scorer with 29 goals. In the Copa del Rey, they defeated Getafe in the round of 32, won against Racing Club in the round of 16 after a penalty shootout, and overcame Valladolid in the quarterfinals. They then beat Eibar 3-2 on aggregate in the semi-finals and triumphed over Barcelona in the final to win the cup. They had also won the Supercopa in January against the same opponent. In the Champions League, they faced Manchester United in the round of 16 and won after a penalty shootout. In the quarterfinals, they defeated Inter with an aggregate score of 7-0. In the semi-finals, they overcame Borussia Dortmund with a 2-1 aggregate score, setting up a final against Manchester City. At that point, Mbappé and Haaland were tied with 7 goals each, while Vinicius Jr. led with 8 goals. They won the final 2-1, with Mbappé scoring once, securing the title and sharing the top goal scorer award in the Champions League with Vinicius, both having scored 8 goals. Overall, Mbappé had scored 1 goal in the Supercopa, 5 goals in the Copa del Rey, 8 goals in the Champions League, and 29 goals in La Liga. Mbappé looks forward to a powerful finish in 5th season with Real Madrid. In his 5th season, Real Madrid has won 6 of their first 10 La Liga games, drawn 2, and lost against Atletico Madrid and Las Palmas. Until now, Mbappé has scored 8 goals in 10 matches, while Lewandowski was leading the goal-scorer table at the age of 40. And Real Madrid were in 4th place. As the season progressed, after 20 games, Real Madrid was still in 4th place with 41 points, but Mbappé caught up with Lewandowski in the goal-scoring race. Vinicius had 9 assists after 20 matches. And Carlo Ancelotti was announced as manager of the month. After 32 weeks, they faced Barcelona, won 1-0 with a goal from Vinicius, and jumped to 3rd place in the table. Despite their efforts, at the end of the season, they finished in 2nd place and lost La Liga. Mbappé also lost the Pichichi Trophy to Guruzeta by 2 goals, while Vinicius was the top assister in La Liga. In that season, they won the Supercopa de España final against Barcelona, but lost the Copa del Rey final to Espanyol. In the Champions League, they won against PSG in the round of 16, defeated Bayern with an aggregate score of 3-2, with Vinicius being the player with the most goal involvements. However, they lost to Manchester City in the semi-finals with an aggregate score of 4-2. Overall, Mbappé scored 23 goals in La Liga and 7 goals in the Champions League. In total, he scored 166 goals in the Champions League and La Liga over the course of 5 seasons.